Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This video is part 2 of a Facebook ads workshop. Last week, I sat down with a company and I helped them set up Facebook ads completely from scratch, step by step. You could watch over my shoulder. So that was part 1. Today, we're doing part 2, and this is 1 week after the ads have been set up. And in part 2, we analyze the performance. So if you want to understand how to look at the metrics of your Facebook ads, how to decide what is a good ad, what is a bad ad, and maybe if you don't know where to look, what to improve, this is a perfect workshop for you. So we go through all of the campaigns, the ad sets, and the ads, analyze the performance, and I help them figure out what works, what doesn't work, and then how to scale and how to continue improving. I hope you enjoy. Also, this workshop is part of a course that I have recorded and published on Udemy. So if you want to get the course, check out the description, and there's a link directly to the course so you can get it. The lowest possible price that I can offer you is in that link, and you can go ahead to Udemy and see the full course. And in the course, I give you not just the workshop and the one-on-one, but the full theory and the practice for you to understand how to set up ads, how to analyze, how to scale products. Because when I was a chief marketing officer at Reflectly, we scaled to 20 million users in 3 years, and that was mostly thanks to Facebook and Instagram ads. So if you want to learn how to do that yourself, which is an amazing skill to have for any product or any company, a skill that will always be in demand, check out the course description, which is under this video. There's a link there. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy the workshop. Let's dive in.
Really eye-opening for us. So we actually ran an internal team competition, just which ones we thought would do well and which ones actually performed really well.
Ooh, that's a
And
good
we
idea.
have 2 clear winners. Let's see.
Let's take people back a little bit. Maybe not everybody remembers, but can you go back to the campaigns tab, and so we can show people that what we have so far, the setup. And yes, there's some Facebook Meta errors. You just have to reload the page because Meta is pain in the ass. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I hear you great.
Okay, I don't know which microphone I'm using. Okay, so we've got one campaign, and now let's look at the ad set. So one ad set, perfect. And we can go into the ad set, and there's a 10-day daily budget, and we've got how many creatives?
I did 15 unique ads.
All right, so we've got 15 different creatives. And now, yeah, so Lydia, what have we learned from the competition?
We learned his voice is like so soothing and sounds like a lullaby, and people click on it.
Well, and it's also, simple is best. I did some that were more complicated, some that were just really simple messaging, and the 2 that performed the best I think the most real. They felt like this was a real person, real scenario. This is one of our original super mamas here, and this is just a video of her talking about her experience introducing the natural nipple and how it didn't disrupt. And it was a way to just really talk about the fear of introducing a bottle, and without it being kind of a share and scare. It was really more about I overcame this concern, and when I introduced the natural nipple, I didn't experience nipple confusion or latching frustration. So it really worked for me.
Okay.
And we had what I thought is the reach was lower, but then this one that performed really well. But if you look, it's almost the same, click through as far as links conversion. So that to me tells me that this one actually could be our top performer had it had a bigger reach.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to show people the 2 ads so we know what we're talking about. You can click on view chart. So the cost has dropped down, and then it was more or less steady. Okay, sounds good. And if you scroll down just to see what else is there in terms of distribution, yeah, age, demographic. Okay, and can you play the video? Is it possible to play it here?
Yeah.
In terms of, them using a certain bottle type or just the nipple, they can have the confusion. They no longer want your nipple. That can also decrease your milk production. I didn't experience any of that introducing the natural nipple. So I'm just grateful for this, because that all I want to do is make sure that she gets the proper nutrients and gets the breast milk that I'm able to produce. So I think it's huge that I'm still able to feed her from my breast or give her the bottle without any issues, you know, going back and forth. Because I was definitely really afraid of that.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, this is what we talked about. This looks like a friend sending a message to you. It doesn't look like an ad. And that's why I would suspect that it works really well. Okay, sounds good. So we can close this part.
Okay.
And then the other one that got the most reach, you mind if we look at that too?
Let's take a look.
Let's look at it. And so what's interesting though is, you know, Lauren, we thought that our demographic was really going to be that 25 to 35, and that's been really clear here. And we are mostly hitting for women. We opened up for both. So there's a lot of learnings from this one. This ad itself was focused around one of our big value propositions, which is more sleep. A lot of moms want to be able to have a partner feed. We see so many of our purchases come at 3 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And so we really wanted to target that tired mom that's like, I need help now.
That's really good because ads are cheap at that time.
After her
Okay.
natural shape, feel, and milk flow, giving her the option of choice between breast and bottle feeding.
Okay, so this one's more snappy and goes through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think the music could be turned down a little bit. That was a learning on my part. Just kind of, I'm still familiarizing myself with CapCut. But as far as, again, it's the two things that these aren't the only two ads that have an actual baby in it. But as far as like just having the product shot or just showing like a mom talking about the product, when we actually have a real, like an infant in the shot or using the bottle with an infant, it's just such a visual that, I mean, I think that sounds so obvious, but at this stage, we're still limited on content. I mean, those are really the only ads that we should be running.
Yeah, and it's a very important learning for you as well, just in general, all the creatives that you do, and whether it's on the website or anywhere else, is that you're using infants in the actual ad.
Yep, the baby, everyone loves to see that baby, see that baby using the bottle, and have the moms really showing. This one I loved because it looks like it's taken late night or early morning. And so this is a very real experience of what it's going to be like feeding with the natural nipple.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we can close this down and let's get back to all of the ads. So can you scroll to the right side? There's more numbers there. And so just to show people that we got cost per result, and we're optimizing on link click. So it's cost per link click that we're getting in that part, and also amount spent. And can you scroll a little bit more to the left so we see the number of impressions as well? Yeah, there we go. And can you sort it by impressions? So click on the impressions, yeah, and start with the highest, and just go to the top. Okay, so it's great that these two are getting reach and impressions, and we're getting link clicks, and the cost per result is pretty good. One thing that seeing from this, my concern would be that we're not getting a lot of impressions on a lot of the other ads. The daily cap is quite low, it's $10, and we have 15 ads. And so Facebook is doing their best to distribute this $10 across all 15. But if it can't do it, it will kind of focus on a couple of them. So I wouldn't necessarily call this like a conclusive result that the first two are the best. I would focus on cost per result is kind of, I think, is the best. Cost per result is the best variable that we can look at. It's like the best North Star metric at this point, because we don't have like cost per purchase. And if you organize the cost per result, can you sort from the smallest to the highest? Yeah. Yeah, so these didn't get any cost per result because they don't have enough impressions or reach. Simply the $10 just didn't get all the way down there.
Mm.
So we'll ignore the ones that don't have cost per result, but not because they're not good, just because we don't have data there. And you can see some of the other ones. That one has 0.08, which is ridiculously low, but it's also, we don't have enough data. That's not statistically significant.
Mm.
And the remaining have between 0.37 to 0.42, which are all very, very similar. But again, some of them just only have one link click. So the only two ads where I would kind of be confident with our data is the two that got really good impressions. But it doesn't necessarily mean that those two are the best ones from all of them.
Mm.
And so there's a couple of things that we can do moving forward. We could either, one option is to increase the daily budget so we can get actually more impressions on all of these ads. That's one option. Another option is to turn off all the ads except for the two that are working well, the ones that are getting impressions, and then we can test out different targeting options to see which targeting works better. Or we could split them up into maybe 3 different ad sets. Each of them would have 5 ads and leave a $10 budget on each of them. So it would increase the budget to $30 in total per day. That's another option. The problem is when we have a lot of creatives like this in one ad set, and the two seem to be working quite well, the algorithm can overemphasize those two and like drive all the traffic. If you scroll more to the right, and you see, yeah, the amount spent is that 90% of it was spent on those 2 ads. Technically, the algorithm should be clever enough to like distribute equally, find a winner, and then invest into the winners. I don't think we have enough data to say like these two are the winners, but these are some really good results to start with. At least we got data flowing, and so that's awesome. Yeah, do you have any questions so far before we keep going?
Well, one thing that we didn't. Oh, Lauren, go ahead.
I think this is so valuable because just going in and looking, I would have had no idea really how to analyze like cost per result is the most meaningful metric, and also that these ones we need to put more money behind it in order to actually test and get some validity here. So I guess, can you walk us through the pros and cons of the options of splitting it between 3 groups, 5 ads each, and then putting $30 behind it, or maybe turning maybe like 10 of these off and then pumping the budget up to $30 and then sequentially testing?
Yeah. So my recommendation, and this is it's kind of a judgment call because I like a lot of these strategies I've tried and they work equally well, and sometimes the algorithm just kind of has a mind of its own. You can't really predict what it's going to do. But something I like to do is, if I see stuff like this, I personally would turn off all of the ads except for the 2 winners. That's number 1. Number 2, I would duplicate the ad set, and in the duplicate, I would turn all of them on except for the 2 winners. So we want to keep putting money behind the winners because they're working well. We want to keep them alive, and we can have the $10 budget, for example, and then create a new ad set with all the ones that didn't get enough impressions, and run those again, and then we can compare, because now we know, okay, we can get a $0.39 cost per click, and we can use that as a first like benchmark and then run all of the other ones. But I would like to get enough impressions on all of them where you can see. So just so you know, the official Facebook recommendation is that you should only judge the success of how well an ad is working after 8,000 impressions. That is the official recommendation. I think that's way too much. I personally, like, after the first 1,000 impressions, I think you have a pretty good idea, and like I would rely on the first 1,000 impressions. Just so you know that like the official metadata is 8,000, but we'll ignore that official recommendation. And so I would like to, I I try to make sure that all the ads get at least 1,000 impressions before I judge whether or not they work, unless like already at the beginning you see that they're getting really, really high cost per results. So if you get like, I don't know, 6, 7, 800 impressions and it's already super expensive, like double the price, like there's no kind of question, even though there isn't true statistical significance, but I find that if it's expensive at the beginning, it's not likely to go down.
Okay. And so one other thing that we talked about that we weren't able to do on our last call was having that audience be specific to those that have followed our Instagram, our website. Now that the pixel's in place, do we want to create another ad set, market it to that group specifically?
Yeah, so in this ad set, we'll turn off all the ads except for the 2 that are working. And so this is like our benchmark. And then we can have, like I said, one duplicate for all the other ads that didn't get impressions. So that's one benchmark on cost per click. And then I would do another duplicate of the 2 that are working, but we'll change the targeting to this custom audiences from Instagram. And so again, we have our benchmark and we can compare that. The only question is every time we create a duplicate or we add an ad set, that increases the daily budget. So it's kind of a question of how much are you willing to spend. But again, we like ideally you would be watching this, like you can just log in once a day and whatever is not performing, you turn it off so that you're kind of managing your costs.
Okay, so for those watching, the fastest way would be to hit here to duplicate.
Actually, I would go to the ad set tab. Yes,
Okay.
and I would duplicate this one. Original campaign duplicate. Actually, you can make 2 duplicates because then we'll do like the ad creative test and the targeting test.
Perfect.
Okay, so now close this window. Let's get back to, yeah, and just change the title of one of them.
Sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, so I'll call this targeting test. And the other one, creative test. Perfection. Okay, now in the targeting test, go into that one. I want to turn off all of the ads except for the 2 that are working. Do you remember the numbers of the ones that are working?
3 and 8, I think.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Why
no,
did it make 2 4s?
3
Looks
and
like-
Oh, this is showing all of the, because it's showing all of the unpublished ads.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, we'll just turn this on.
Yeah, this is just because the meta interface is bad. So it should be showing us only one ad
That's
set.
good to know, though. That's good to know. We can just delete that.
No, I think we'll have to actually publish everything and turn it off because we're not going to be able to see which one is which ad set. You can just turn them off all actually. On bulk on top. Select all of the ads. Yeah. And if you click on edit, next to the edits, there's the arrow. And there you should be able to turn them off. Yeah. Turn off all of them. Oh, you can turn off when they're okay. So you have to do it manually. Never mind, because they're still just drafts. Actually, can you go top right and just click review and publish? Let's just publish them all and turn them afterwards. It'll be easier. On the bottom, click on try to publish items with errors and publish anyways.
Would it be easier at this point to just check this and then only publish?
No, we need to publish all of them because you don't know which one is from the test ad set, which from the creative ad set, which one is from the targeting ad set. I hope this will work.
Yeah, internally it was really fun, Darius. Like this week, me, Caitlin, and Lydia were like, okay, pick the one you think is gonna perform best. We didn't actually put money down on it, but next week what we're
You
gonna
should have.
we're gonna throw money in, and whoever wins gets to really choose like the creative for next week and put the pooled money towards it.
That's a good strategy. Yeah, it's fun. And for me, it's always been like the least thing that I would expect at work. It worked. Maybe I'm just really bad at picking, and somebody can see the patterns.
Well, what was nice for me, because I created all these, the two that performed the best actually took the least amount of time to create. They were the fastest to create, which is awesome. Because I was like, it's just a lesson of don't overthink it. Like it
Yeah,
really
exactly.
that simple.
Okay, so
Um,
here we're gonna again select all of them and turn them all off. Perfect. Yeah, publish.
okay.
Can you go back to the ad set tab and let's just select. Okay, so that one is being published, targeting test. Okay, let's wait for the targeting test to publish, and then I want to open that one again. Or I guess you can click on the creative test. Yeah, that's fine. And here, turn off everything
same.
except for the two that are working. Or I guess turn on everything except for the two that are working, sorry.
And so 8 and 11 are our two winners right now.
Yeah, so those we can turn off here because they're running in the other ad set.
Okay.
I think you have to,
Let
yeah,
it
click
publish.
on review and publish.
Oh,
Okay, just gotta wait for it to load. Is it just being slow?
And then theoretically, Darius, okay, if we got close to 3,000 impressions, I would say we would want to triple the budget, or is that irrelevant? To get to that 8,000 impression to really make an informed decision.
Yeah, like I wouldn't wait until 8,000 impressions. Like I think you can see pretty steady pattern after the first 1,000 or 2,000. So I wouldn't worry about hitting like the official numbers. From my experience, is almost never. If an ad is expensive at 2,000 impressions, it almost never goes back down to like reasonable price. From what I have seen. Lydia, try just refreshing the page because meta is meta.
okay. And so we're going to turn off 8 and we're going to turn off 11.
Yes. You have to turn off 11 one more time.
I like this for your audience, though, to see that sometimes it's not you, sometimes it really is.
With meta, most of the times it's not you.
Disclaimer, everyone. Okay,
Yeah.
so going
So now
back
go to the ad set. Perfect. And we'll click on we'll edit the targeting test. And so here we want to turn on the winners.
Okay.
Yeah, one more time. I'll do it one at a time. And now go back to the ad sets tab. And in the targeting test, click on edit the targeting test. Yes. And so here we're going to change the targeting audience. Have you already created a custom audience?
I have not, so I think we need to go back.
Okay, so we'll do that first. So on the left side, you want to find audiences.
This is what we created. I don't know if we created these on our last call.
Yes, and so this is the Engage 365. That's the custom audience of all the people who engage with your Instagram.
Okay.
And then we created a lookalike, and they're both ready.
Okay.
And we have general website audience. So it looks like your pixel is working because we have that's ready as well.
Okay, perfect. So do you want me to just go back then?
Yeah, so we can go on the left side, you can just click on the campaigns or there. Perfect. Edit the targeting test. Wonderful. And yeah, scroll down, lower. And here in the custom audiences, so I would start off with the lookalike.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good size, broad audience. Yeah, just this.
Okay. And then publish.
And hit publish, yes. Actually, can you scroll down a little bit? Never mind.
Sorry, I'm quick.
Nice, you are.
Very trigger happy. Okay.
So I want to scroll down a little bit. Oh, a bit more. Okay, so here on the locations, we can either keep this or we could also just keep it open because we already have the lookalike of the visitors. And so it'd be interesting to just kind of remove all of these filters and just rely on the lookalike audience.
So then we would just remove these.
Yeah.
We do want to keep it to the United States though.
Yes, absolutely. If you wouldn't, then Facebook would spend all money in India because impressions are cheaper there.
And then
The age, we can also remove any limitations there.
how would you remove that or just open it up?
Yeah, just go like 18 to whatever is the max. Yeah. Perfect. And then we remove the people who are parents targeting. Okay, so we removed all of the filters. We're only relying on the lookalike audience. Perfect. Now you can publish.
Do we want to save this audience?
No, because we saved the lookalike. There's nothing specific about this one. Very cool. We can close this. And can you click on the creative test because it says there's the ads are inactive. I just want to double check. Okay, they're just in review. That's why it's inactive. Okay, that's perfect. It'll take a few hours or a few minutes for them to get reviewed and move forward. So this is all set. And
In the process, I know that we talked previously, like it might not like the TikTok logo being used. What is it reviewing specifically? Or is that really too broad of a question?
it's just looking if there's anything like harmful or dangerous. And there's no like person reviewing it. I think it's AI. But it is if there's anything like dangerous or because they want to make sure that you don't upload just anything, right?
Well, and I've always, a concern I've had is our company's name is the Natural Nipple. I've been worried about censorship, which thankfully we haven't experienced. But I was just trying to be mindful of like what can and can't be used. And there's a big scam going on right now that we've gotten messenger about it. We've gotten an email about it, about copyright. So anyone that's watching, if they get that message, check it first as a scam and don't fall for it because it's actually not your ad. That I don't know if that's happening in the UK, but that's happening a lot in the US.
Right. Yeah. Gotta be careful. But it is good to know that the word nipple didn't trigger any alarms.
No, actually, yeah, it's been good.
That's
Yay,
good.
nipples.
Can we click on the targeting test one more time? I want to see the ads in there and just to triple check that we have. Okay, so everything is turned off except for the winners, which are in review. Perfect. Okay. Go back to the ad set. So I think this is a really good test to start with. Another variation we could do of the targeting test is to target people who are website visitors. I think that will be even more targeted than Instagram. or we can also create a lookalike audience for your website visitors, which might be like the best target group of people who actually visit the website.
I think we have.
We have the custom audience, but we don't have a lookalike. Yeah, so click on create audience button on the left side and lookalike audience. And then in the source, in the first field, can you type in website or there? Actually go back, let's just see what's there, delete everything. So we got the Shopify product catalog or the pixel on the website. Okay, so both of these are working well. If you click on other sources, let's see what else is there. Oh yeah, so we did a bunch of them. Okay. In the value-based sources, let's go back there. The Shopify product catalog, is it the pixel when somebody's browsing through your products?
Correct. So my understanding with this is set up for if they click on our product catalog from social and it takes them directly to our Shopify catalog page, as opposed to taking them to the website. They can actually purchase through social media.
Okay, but this is, yeah, when they're actually looking at the products.
Correct.
Okay. So I think both of these are, yeah, let's try that one. Shopify product catalog. Perfect. And yeah, keep that to 10%. In the region, I would put the United States. And if you click on the select product set option in the top, yeah. I wonder if we have to, I don't know if we can include all of them. Yeah, just put all products. That's perfect. Sounds good. Create an audience. Oh, the source is too small. All right, let's try to, yeah, kill that one. And let's put in that one. Exactly.
Oh,
Ooh.
I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Dramatic effect.
So we can do a purchase event, but we don't have any purchase value in there right now. Try to create this audience. Click create now, see if it allows us to do it. May not, but let's see if it does. Yeah, that one is too small as well. Okay, so let's try to kill this pixel and let's see what are the other options in there. In the other sources, we got general website audience. So click on that one. Perfection. Let's create this one.
Amazing.
All right, so now it's populating. It will take a couple of minutes or hours. And so I think we can stop it here. But the next step for you, check in an hour and do another targeting test duplicate and switch the Instagram lookalike into this website lookalike, which we'll see if it works better. It should, but gotta test everything.
Amazing.
Any questions?
This is so helpful, really. Like the step by step, honestly, like I could have watched YouTube videos for days, and I really, really value your time, Darius. We'll just pump up the spend in each of these, correct? Just so I make sure I have
I mean,
everything.
it is a judgment call. The more money you spend, the quicker you get results, but also you'll burn through more cash. And so if you want to let it run at $10 a day, the creative the ad sets with only 2 creatives, I think that's enough with $10. But if there's the one with more creatives, maybe put it to 20. I also just want to be cautious of your spend. It's very easy to burn through a lot of money really quickly on Facebook.
You would
And
know.
so yeah, and those you can just put it on. You can put it on $20 for those ad sets with more creatives to make sure that all of the creatives will get the impressions they need before we judge them.
Okay, perfect. I'm looking
Don't
forward
judge
to
people, judge creatives.
creative judgment session next week. And I appreciate y'all's time. We'll place our internal bets and then go from there.
Amazing.
Thanks,
All right.
Chris. Thanks, Lydia.
Thank you guys.
Enjoy the weekend.
See you next
All
week.
right. Thank you.
Ciao.